Tommy, thank you very much for joining me. First of all, can we talk about Tuesday's defeat and what you take away from that?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I thought we were beaten by a very, very good side. But again, the mitigating factors being very, very early in the game, I felt we had a really good shout for a penalty. I mean, we're talking in seconds of the start of the game. So it didn't happen for us again. But make no bones about it, Stockport are a very, very good side, best side we've played in the division, and I fully expect them to go on and finish the job. Was I disappointed with the result? Yeah, of course I was, but was I disappointed with the application and the effort from the lads? Not at all. It's like it's a David versus Goliath game, and I think that showed. I thought they were bigger, faster, fitter, stronger, and that's over years, that is, not over a month. So from that point of view, I didn't have any grumbles. I was disappointed with one or two of the aspects of how we conceded, if I'm honest. Of course, losing Jonah to a red card for a very, very similar challenge to the penalty incident we didn't receive, that was again frustrating. But in fairness to the lads, the last half an hour at 10 men against 11 against the best team in the division, to manage not to concede another goal was very good, and we should have scored at the other end. So from that point of view, I take a lot of positives out of the defeat, but I don't want to make much of a habit of it.
How have the squad responded post that going into this week, and the head count, the injuries, the missing players? Where are the team, the squad at?
Well, we're healthy, we're good. We've only got a couple that aren't available. Obviously, Kyle's still not around the group, but other than him, the longer term injuries are very close now, and one or two of them could well be involved tomorrow against Halifax. So in terms of their well-being and their mental approach to it, it's all good. We've had we're going to have the second training session since the game. Yesterday was really bright. It was quite relaxed. Makes a big difference when the wind isn't coming off the North Sea and it's not blowing a hoolie. So from that point of view, the training ground's a much nicer place when it's sunny, obviously you can imagine. And like I said, the lads I think are in a good place. They know what's ahead of them. It's not changed. The geography of our job hasn't changed. We've got to try and get as many points in the amount of games we've got left to play.
And thinking about sort of comings and goings to a certain extent, we're announcing today the departure on loan of Piers Spurd to Halifax. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me?
Yeah, it came about because Pete rang me early in the week and asked about his availability, because he hadn't been involved in our 16, not even in our 11 for the last few weeks, and that's a culmination of things. I think the position we're in and what's required in them roles, i.e. central defensive role, I don't think Pierce's forte is in that niche. So from that point of view, Pete sees him as something that he might use between now and the end of the season. They've obviously got the funds to do that, and so I thought it was a good thing for both clubs. At the end of the day, he won't be playing against us tomorrow. That's part of the deal. But other than that, it's a chance for him to play football. So he wanted to go. I will never keep a player at a football club who doesn't want to be there. So it's just business. That's all that is.
And the academy set up, we're announcing that Theo Hudson's coming in from the academy side. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that was completely instigated by myself. We had an in-house game against Alex's boys last week, and it was a really worthwhile exercise. I know people might think I'm saying that just for publicity. It wasn't. It is a good exercise, because there's some lads that play in there who just showed a hunger and an honesty and an appetite to want to impress in front of the first team staff, and I thought that was great. He's a big lad, Theo. He's honest. He runs around hard, and he looks physically capable. I mean, he's still a young man, but if I can get him in and around the squad between now and the end of the season, I think it bodes well for the future. That's 5 or 6 now that we've got registered, so the numbers are there if we needed them. In an ideal situation, I'd love to get some of them on the pitch, but obviously the position we're in and what we're fighting for will dictate that as well.
So there's optimism going forward, not just in the first team and around the club, but the academy is giving...
Yeah, I mean, I think when I got here, I used the word the other night for you, didn't I? And it was a bit of a despair around the place, but I think we've created an air of respair. People have to look that word up, but it's a definite word. And I know that because as people are leaving the game, or as I was leaving the building on Tuesday night, that people are saying to me, you know, keep going, Tom, the lads are really having a go and stuff. And that's hope, that is, you know, belief, that's whatever you want to call that. But the effort and the energy that they showed against a very, very good side against Stockport and the week before against Torquay, I think there is definitely a pattern. We're becoming more difficult to beat. What we've got to do is we've got to be that, but we've also got to finish games off at the other end, a bit like we did at Aldershot, to be honest with you. It's a consistency thing, and I think it comes with time and with repetition. And I use that analogy all the time to the players as well about racehorses. If you wanted to run a mile, you don't just run it a mile every day. You've got to build up, and some of our lads are building up for the first time at this level with 20, 25, 30 games under the belt. If you look at Stockport, I would have said nearly, well, every one of their players would have played 50, 60, 70, 100 games at this level and above. So from that point of view, that's something we have to look at in recruitment. It's no good taking punts on every single player that you bring in. You have to have some course and distance players. People like Josh Coulson, Cameron Hargreaves, who've played a bit more men's football than the rest. So it's visible to me. I'm sure it's visible to the people watching the game. So, like I said, in general, it's all about the respare now, not the despair.
And on to tomorrow, Halifax.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it very early after me coming into the club. We had them as the second game after Dover game on a Tuesday night, and I thought they were a really good side. I thought the movement and the football was excellent. The pitch was brilliant, I've got to say, the night we played them. But again, we give them a good game. They bring a different form of danger in the movement of Waters and the forward players in behind him and in wide of him. So we know all about them, as they do about us, I should imagine. So I think it'll be a good game. Again, two teams will want to win because of for varying reasons, obviously, but both need to win really. So it's a game we hope to be on our front foot and hope to get that atmosphere we've had in the last two games. Again on Saturday, hopefully it'll be a lovely day here in Norfolk, and we'll have a house full.
Theo, welcome to Kings Lynn Town. What does signing and being part of this club mean to you?
It means a lot to me, just getting the opportunity to step into the first team. It just means a lot, and it's a big opportunity for me.
What does it give a player of your age going in and training with the likes of Aaron Jones, Michael Clunan and local sort of football stars for all intents and
Gives me a massive opportunity to just up my game and learn from the best players around the area.
And you've come through the academy. How long have you been sort of working with the academy structure?
I first joined Kings in September. I was actually joined in pre-season, so I've been for about 6 months now.
And what about your studies? Where does your studies go? Does that continue for you now? Do you stay studying?
I'm doing studying at the sixth form that's linked with the academy, and then next year I might be doing the under 23s university course.
Cool. Alex, what does it do for the academy getting someone like Theo come through?
Yeah, it's fantastic exposure for us, particularly with the trials coming up next week. All came apparent with our game against the first team last Tuesday, and gave us the opportunity to sort of showcase everybody that's within the academy, and give them that chance to play up against the pros that are at the football club, and Theo caught the eye of Tommy and Tommy's staff, and fantastic to have the opportunity for Theo to join the first team and sign forms.
No disrespect to Theo, but there's a few others that have come through recently. Have we got this pipeline running now? Yeah,
absolutely. I think as soon as you sort of start that conveyor belt, it begins to sort of take momentum, and with Knowlesy signing his first team contract and others on forms with shirt numbers, we're certainly heading in the right direction, and it's great to have the support of the first team staff, giving these young players the opportunity to train and eventually play National League football.
So Theo, what's the dream for you? Where do you see your career in 5 years, 10 years?
Well, obviously the dream is to be playing full-time professional football and making a living out of it. Obviously that's the ideal situation for me in the next few years.
And beyond that, who would you Kings Lynn's great, but obviously...
Well, I support Man United, so obviously that would be probably the pinnacle for me. Obviously that sort of level of football would be a dream.
And what do your family think?
Ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic, over the moon, being buzzing.